What's up guys, it's me LG and happy Halloween! I'm making this video in the hopes of it releasing on Halloween, so if it doesn't, you have permission to shame me in the comments. Anyways, as you already saw in the title, this video is about the JToH Halloween event 2023. I'll be giving my first impressions, overall thoughts, and will give my final words about it all. Also, feel free to disagree with anything I say. These are just my personal thoughts, and I know everyone will not agree, and that's okay. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. So, the event received some teasers before its release, and going off of previous year's events, I was expecting this year's one to be another grand spectacle with a bunch of content. That train of thought was fueled more by the fact that the teasers were depicting a carnival of some sort. Those are usually quite big. Then, it released, and it was not what I was expecting at all. I saw the difficulty chart and only 3 steeples? Well, that's interesting. Looking around the lobby, it didn't seem to be that big at all. Throughout my time with JToH events, I never liked how big they were made because it led to main game areas not getting as much attention development-wise. But seeing how small this year's event was, it was nice to finally see such a smaller scale event for once. Now, I went into the event with a good first impression, so let's see if the event can actually live up to it. Before getting into the steeples and boss, I want to quickly go over the lobby. The lobby is, well, a carnival. As always, with JToH builders, it looks pretty nice, but I'm not here to talk about the looks. The main reason I wanted to go over the lobby is because of the attractions. If you sit in the Ferris wheel or the teacup or the hollow pumpkin ride, it gives you the option to switch cameras. I was confused by this at first because sitting in either of the things I mentioned did nothing. But if you sat in the roller coaster seats, then you could actually ride the roller coasters, which was quite fun to see. Although I was pretty disappointed that you couldn't do anything with the others. But oh well, it's not that big of a deal because there's still steeples. Speaking of the steeples, let me go over all of them real quick. When I first saw Steeple of Ghostly Mischief, I didn't even realize it was a steeple. It straight up looked like it was just part of the lobby, so that was kind of funny. Anyways, the steeple was actually quite enjoyable for a modern tower. The whole premise of the ghosts being summoned and trashing the place is quite fun. Not to mention that ghost platform gimmick where the closer your character is, the more transparent they get. Some jumps don't feel like they're easy difficulty though, but considering most of the tower is safety netted, it doesn't really matter. Man, Steeple of Dungeon Crawling was something else. Half the time I felt like I was going the wrong way, but no, the Steeple somehow just knew where I wanted to go, and it made for a really fun experience. I can't really say much about the gameplay because it blends in with any other modern tower, but the concept and route progression was really cool to see. Now, even though I had an unreasonably tough time with this one, Steeple of Moonlight Heresy was still pretty cool. Still though, for an intense, I should not have been failing so much times. Despite that though, I still very much liked the gimmicks that it had to offer, especially the wormhole thing with the animation of it sucking you in and then spitting you back out at the other end. Those sections had such a cool atmosphere, by the way. It reminded me of that skybox in closed off areas in Mario Galaxy. I also liked the gimmick where it reduced gravity. It almost looks like you're slowing down time every time you touch it. Although, I still have flashbacks from that one 360 wrap you're supposed to do on an outside. Oh, and also, the ending was pretty sick. So apparently Tower of Treats and Tricks was supposed to be this year's tower, but it hasn't came out yet, and it's October 31st, so that's kind of when I have to release the video. I might make a separate review on that tower though, but we'll see. Oh man, the boss fight. This is a personal thing, but I somehow managed to die right before defeating the boss 2 years in a row. That's besides the point though. The boss itself was kind of cool in my opinion. I like the callbacks to previous year's steeples, which presumably got chosen due to some polls in the JToH Discord, which asked which steeples were your favorite from each year. The lore though, I did not think we'd get a callback to last year's boss, much less that he was Eclipse's superior. I don't have a lot to say about the attacks themselves though, because, well, they're the usual attacks you'd expect from a JToH boss. I did like how the swords from last year returned though. Also, the mini eclipses were funny. Nothing really stood out to me as unfair, and everything was balanced, so good job JToH team. Well, I gotta say, I think JToH hit it on the spot with this year's event. My biggest gripes were that you couldn't ride some of the attractions in the carnival, which is just being picky, and then a questionable difficulty for a steeple, which I still enjoyed. Take those complaints as you will. They are very little and did not take away from my enjoyment of the event. Pretty good lobby, pretty good steeples, pretty good boss, and pretty decently sized in terms of ambition. Alright, well, that concludes the video. This was my first time writing a script for a video, so that was interesting. If you have any opinions on the event yourself, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you like this new approach I'm doing to videos, then press that like button to feed the algorithm or whatever YouTube thinks is good for a video, I don't know. One last thing, YouTube added this frankly pointless feature where if someone says the word subscribe, the subscribe button does this little effect, and I want to see if it works. Subscribe. Anyways, that's all. And as always, I will see you, yes you, in the next video. Goodbye everyone.